this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader. Today I will be reading Veterans Day. Veterans Day. Veterans Day honors the men and women who have served in America's armed forces. The armed or military services are America's Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines. Veterans Day is a national holiday. It is celebrated on November 11. Canada honors its veterans on Remembrance Day, which is also on November 11. Veterans Day is a patriotic holiday. The day gives all Americans a chance to say thanks to veterans for helping to keep America strong and free. Veterans Day remembers the men and women who served in all branches of the armed services. Armistice Day. What we now call Veterans Day used to be known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day celebrated the day the fighting in World War I ended, November 11, 1918. Nearly 9 million soldiers from many nations died in World War I, 1914 to 1918. 116,000 were Americans. World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars. No one knew then that an even more terrible war would follow. World War II, 1939 to 1945. World War I American soldiers in trenches await a German attack in France. Armistice. World War I lasted for 4 long bloody years. France, England, Russia, and their allies fought against Germany and its allies. Canada joined the war against Germany in 1915. America entered the war against Germany in 1917. Although World War I ended officially with the signing of a peace treaty in 1919, the fighting stopped in 1918 with a ceasefire or armistice. The armistice began at 11 o'clock in the morning of the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918. World War I officially ended with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in May 1919. 2 minutes of silence. After the armistice had been signed, Australian writer George Honey had an idea. He suggested that people worldwide spend 2 minutes of silence remembering the soldiers killed in action. Honey's idea was very popular. 2 minutes of silence became a Veterans Day tradition. Many Veterans Day ceremonies still include the 2 minutes of silence at 11 o'clock in the morning of the 11th day of the 11th month. Many Veterans Day services still observe 2 minutes of silence at 11 a.m. on November 11. Artist James Dietz captures some of the terrible combat of World War I in this painting entitled I Have Assumed Command, on display at the 1st Division Museum at Katney-Wheaton, Illinois. Renaming Armistice Day. The first Armistice Day holiday was held on November 11, 1919. It was celebrated in the United States every year until 1954. By 1954, America had fought in World War II and the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. Congress decided that America should have a day to honor all war veterans, living and dead. Congress renamed Armistice Day. November 11 became Veterans Day. The new holiday honored the peace of 1918 and all the veterans of America's armed services. James Dietz shows alert American foot soldiers during World War II action against the Germans in a painting on display at the 1st Division Museum at Katney-Wheaton, Illinois. Tomb of the Unknowns. On November 11, 1921, an unidentified American soldier who had died in World War I was buried in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Today, this marble tomb at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia is called the Tomb of the Unknowns. Unidentified soldiers from World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War are buried there. Each Veterans Day, a special ceremony honoring American soldiers killed in action, is held at the Tomb of the Unknowns. The remains of unidentified American soldiers from 4 wars are buried in the Tomb of the Unknowns. Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial lists the names of nearly 60,000 American soldiers who died in the Vietnam War, 1965 to 1973. Each Veterans Day, a wreath is laid on the black granite memorial wall in Washington, D.C. The wreath is one way America honors and remembers veterans who died fighting the war in Vietnam. A large bronze sculpture of 3 American soldiers is also part of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. See cover of this book. People walk slowly by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Veterans Organizations. Veterans organizations are groups of men and women who have been in the armed forces. They help organize and carry out ceremonies for Veterans Day and Memorial Day, May 30 or 31st. They help care for disabled veterans and the families of veterans who have died. Veterans organizations also tell Congress and the public about veterans' needs, interests, and concerns. 2 of the largest and oldest veterans organizations are the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The Veterans of Foreign Wars and other veterans organizations are active in Veterans Day ceremonies. Celebrating Veterans Day. Some offices and most schools close on Veterans Day. Towns have parades and invite veterans to make speeches about the importance of serving America in the armed services. Some schools invite veterans to share their experiences with students. Many veterans are a very real part of American wartime history. The lessons they teach are some of the most important the students will ever hear. The end. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what books you'd like for me to read next. As always, thank you for listening.